Hello Electroheads, Tish here. There's a few key moments which defined 2022. We had one of the hottest summers since records began. Mr. Tesla himself, Elon Musk, bought Twitter. And we also unfortunately lost our Queen of England. But if anything was going to trump the outrage, the loss of a monarch, it was going to be Ford, ditching the Fiesta. So introduces a new dawn of Ford. And they're going in a completely new direction. And it all begins here, introducing the Ford Explorer.
Recently, Ford announced its electrification strategy in Europe, where 3 new electric vehicles will be launched by the brand until 2024, joining the already available Mustang Mach-E and electric commercial vehicles. Altogether, including the Explorer and the commercials, there will be 7 new models. Another of those confirmed is the electric Puma, and one more described as a sports crossover. This is the first model built in the Ford Cologne EV campus in Germany, and it's also the first to sit on the Volkswagen Group's MEB modular platform, designed for mainstream electric vehicles, made possible by a deal hammered out between the two automakers in 2019. The MEB platform is the basis for several vehicles, including the compact crossover ID.4, which we can assume shares a lot underneath with the Avenger.
The Ford Explorer showcases the direction which Ford are going in, and that's moving away from smaller vehicles and more towards vehicles which are geared up for family life and adventure. Yes, things are getting bigger. How very American. In today's video, I'm going to tell you everything I know about the Ford Explorer, which isn't actually very much. We haven't yet got the figures and facts, which are going to follow in due course. But for today, I can show you the exterior, the interior, and some pretty cool features. So if you want to find all of that out, then please do keep watching. And if you like videos like this, first looks, electric car content, and electric mobility, then Electroheads is the place to be. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So first off, let's chat about that design.
I can't be the only one seeing Range Rover Evoke. This new model has a similar boxy shape and nameplate spelt out across the front and rear bumper. It makes sense to embody the shape of one of the most popular cars Land Rover build. After all, their roots are in off-roading and multi-purpose vehicles, and that's seemingly what Ford want to embody. I also think it's clear that Ford are aiming towards a more female audience, with the Avenger's softened edges and icy Arctic blue paintwork.
Continuing with that off-road rugged feel, all Ford Explorers come with some pretty big wheels. This model has the top spec 21 inches, but they start at 19s. They're also finished in this aero design. If you're from America, you'll be familiar with the Explorer name. But in the UK, this is a new model for us. And in fact, this isn't just the American vehicle made European. This is a brand new model on a brand new platform, which is solely going to be electric. And it's a little bit difficult to gauge the size of it because that high bonnet line, that wide stance, it makes it look quite large. But actually, at just under 4.5 meters, it's smaller than the Mustang Mach-E. In fact, it sits somewhere between the existing Puma and the Ford Kuga. Now, despite being shorter than the Mustang Mach-E, it actually gets more boot space. Inside here, you'll find 450 litres, which is really practical. It also gets an adjustable boot floor, and underneath here, you almost get a mini mega box, a bit like in the Ford Puma, but not quite as much space. It's just enough room to put your muddy cables. But unfortunately, because this is on the MEB platform, it doesn't get any under the bonnet storage like you get in the Mustang. The interior, there is a lot to unpack here. And actually, I'm really impressed. I very much like the cabin of this car. It feels like a blend of things that I love about the Ford Mach-E, and then you feel that blend of the Volkswagen slight influence making its way in, but in good ways. I really like these wing-back seats which are in this solid position, which make the view from the back really clear. They're also finished in a vegan leather, which is really good. No animal product here. You've got some contrasting stitching, but it's kept very simple. The center console, now this is really cool. Some electric cars have gone for the option of having a completely empty centre console, storage area where you can just pop things in, whereas Ford have gone for a solid centre console. But in here is a mass of storage. Inside here you'll find 17 litres. That's big enough to put 3 big bottles of water, a laptop. It's really usable, and also you can pull out the cup holders, you can replace the cup holders by different compartments, you can tuck the cup holders underneath the bottom of the console. It's just really user friendly, and you're able to set it up in all different ways depending on how you like it. And I actually prefer this to an open console because it means that you can pop things away and hide them. And talking about hiding, this isn't the only bit of storage. There's another bit. Underneath this massive 15-inch screen, there's some hidden storage. You can pop phones, keys, valuables, and you may be wondering, well yes, but it won't take long for people to realise that there is a secret compartment under there. And whilst that might be true, this does actually lock with the car. So when you leave your items in there, they'll actually be locked away and someone won't be able to access them unless they've unlocked the vehicle. Of course, that 15-inch screen is a big focus in this cabin, and that's why they've gone for a much smaller driver's display. This reminds me of a blend between the Mach-E and also the Volkswagen products. It's just slightly larger and easier to see than in the Volkswagens. You've also got this steering wheel, which, like the exterior, feels very rugged. You've got the Explorer kind of part here in the middle. It's also almost a squarey type circle. It's not conventionally round, and I quite like that. The buttons, yeah, they're haptic.
Idiots.
Ford, why didn't you listen to everybody moaning about Volkswagens and change them? Because a lot of people don't like haptic buttons. However, they do look like they are positioned so that you're not going to knock them when you're driving.
Whilst it's not immediately obvious that Ford has been rummaging around in the Volkswagen parts bin, if you search hard enough, you will find things, including left of the steering wheel, the lighting controls, and the switchable window switches for the front and rear. It does also have a touch-sensitive volume bar, similar to that in the Volkswagen products, but Ford did confirm that it will be backlit, following complaints on the IDs.
This right here is a tech lover's wet dream. We all know somebody that has a massive flat screen TV in their house and also a sound bar underneath, and that's exactly what you've got in here. You've got the large 15-inch touchscreen, and you've also got this sound bar around the top with the ambient lighting. I really love this. If you're familiar with the Mach-E, you'll know that almost the whole dashboard is finishing this design, and I wasn't particularly a fan of it, but I love this soundbar in slightly a smaller kind of elevated design. And the touchscreen, this is pretty cool. Of course, I've already mentioned that you can get to some of the storage underneath, but also you can tilt the screen upwards. So if you wanted to focus on your maps and various different options, you can do that. And then when you wanted to tuck it out of the way, it becomes a lot less distracting.
The touchscreen will run Ford's Sync Move system and feature everything you expect, like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
As I mentioned, dimension-wise, this is shorter than the Cougar, but rear interior space feels fantastic. It's got that really light, airy feel thanks to the massive sunroof. And there's no compromised headroom either. There's a huge focus on everything being coupe nowadays, but by having this more conventional boxy shape, it gives rear seat passengers loads of headroom. And I've got a ton of legroom as well. Of course, being based on a dedicated EV platform, I haven't got that transmission tunnel. I have got a pull-out armrest, a couple of cup holders, and some through loading. All in all, it's just a super practical space.
Of course, despite the only confirmed figures being given that it can charge from 10 to 80% in 20 minutes, we'd do well to assume that the Explorer will share a lot with the Volkswagen ID.4. That means they may offer the choice between rear-wheel or all-wheel drive, and perhaps get the ID.4's biggest battery, which is an 82 kilowatt-hour unit that delivers up to 275 miles of range. It's also likely to be priced between the company's existing Cougar and Mach-E, coming in around £40,000. But these are all just assumptions.
We are all guilty of not liking change, and the automotive world, especially the electric automotive world, is moving so quickly that sometimes it's pretty difficult to keep up. The all-new Explorer is a peek in the direction that Ford is heading. It might not be for everybody, but if you have a practical lifestyle, then I think these new vehicles are going to very much suit your needs. Plus, why not start by basing it on electric vehicles that we know are very, very good? I was slightly worried that coming here today, I would just see a rebadged Volkswagen, but I don't. The Explorer really does have its own personality, and it is very clearly Ford. But let me know, what do you guys think of the Ford Explorer? Are you pleased at the way things are going, or are you going to miss those small Fords? Pop it in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me and all the team at Electroheads, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, guys, see you later.